All right, so quick update on those that are following my journey on buying my first company. Is I got the first batch of leads back from the data miner that I found off of Fiverr. It looks pretty good. I like none of the emails that he supplied were like generic emails. They all were specific to a person, and that person was like the founder, co-founder, CEO, or something like that. And it just on first glance, again, I haven't dug into this, but it looks pretty good. So I'm excited. Now the next step is to find a virtual assistant that can process this big list of leads. And so I've been working on my scripts of like, basically, I want the virtual assistant to take this leads list and on day one, like send them a message saying, like introducing who I am, my interest in buying their business, all that kind of stuff. And then if they don't reply, like I recognize a certain percentage are going to reply to that, and whoever doesn't, I want the virtual assistant to wait a couple days, or maybe the next day or something like that, and then send a second message with a slightly different script to it, but just kind of reiterating the fact that I'm a real person, I'm really interested in them. So that's the intent, and I'm building those scripts right now. So I haven't had them finalized, and I tried to have a meeting with a virtual assistant, but this person came kind of highly recommended, but I haven't been able to get a hold of them. So I don't know if they're just so highly recommended they're busy, or if they're out of business or something. So anyway, so stay posted, and I'll let you know what it looks like firsthand to like meet a virtual assistant. I've never used a virtual assistant before, but the more and more I dig into this, the more and more people highly recommend them. And I just need to be careful that I don't give them too much responsibility with too little oversight. So that's my worry, my concern, and I really want to just be cautious and careful about that. But it seems like there's a lot of people that have had a lot of great success with virtual assistants, so I'm looking forward to hiring my first and trying that out. So I'll let you know. And then I did find a business, and I think I might have mentioned this before, but an owner did respond saying that they were open to the idea of selling, and so I sent them a non-disclosure agreement, and they signed it and turned it back, and so now we are entering the due diligence phase, and so I've got a list here of 10 to 15 different pieces of financial information on like a checklist, and I sent that over to them, and I'm waiting for them to reply back. So I'm just really excited to jump into this due diligence phase. Again, I've been somewhat a part of due diligence before, but as a minor contributor, and so anyway, this is really my first time as the major, well, certainly on the acquisition side, right? Like a major partner in the due diligence phase. And so I'm excited. It's fun to, I guess, reach this stage. The company I know is pre-revenue, and so it's a technology company. They have some intellectual property that I'm interested in owning because it fits in really well with one of my businesses that I started that's in the oil and gas space. And so that's the reason I really like this particular business. But it's going to be interesting to just see, because when I set out on this journey, I really wanted to purchase established businesses, and so purchasing a company just for their intellectual property and their pre-revenue is a different ball game. It's similar in that like you go through the mechanics of the non-disclosure agreement and the acquisition process, but the valuation is going to be tricky. And I really want to make sure that I do it in a way that makes sense for all of us, because I don't want to introduce additional risk to my existing business that's profitable. So anyhow, I'll just keep giving you updates on how that's going, and then all the while continuing to establish the process of deal flow, because the more I read about it, the more it just makes sense that I want to be aware of the best deals out there. I want to, and again, doing these deals is not about taking advantage of people. It's really about finding the organization that has a culture that fits what I'm looking for, with processes and procedures and a staff that's well trained and it's world class and it's good, and the seller, for whatever reason, is looking to enter the next chapter of their life. And so that's what I'm looking for. And in order to get that, I recognize that I just need a steady stream of deals that come in front of me, so we can kind of have these conversations more often. So anyway, thanks. I'll check again tomorrow and let you know how it goes with the virtual assistant, let you know what it looks like to get financials back from a company that's pre-revenue, and kind of further the conversation about valuing them. And then I'm just really excited to get my first batch of deals on companies that have existing revenue. So stay tuned. Thanks.